Alright, guys, welcome back to the channel. So that was the dressing room of the Super Falcons of Nigeria after they defeated the Tunisian women's team. 3 goals to 0 was the final score, and obviously from the way that they were dancing and singing and celebrating in the dressing room, you could tell how much this actually means to them. Again, going into this game, it was always going to be the Super Falcons who normally would predict that they would go on and win the game, and uh, obviously that they did exactly just that, and in a very very fine style. Because to be honest, watching that game, I just saw the level between the Nigerian Super Falcons and the Tunisian women's team. It was very different. We were high up there and they were like below. It was a very very unbalanced game. We completely dominated them in every possible statistic, and then it really showed as well in the results. As Asisat Oshoala scoring the first goal in the 4th minute, converting a crossing from Babajide, and then Babajide would go on to score her own goal in the 45th plus 1 minute. That's before the first half ended. And then later on, Ihezo scored in the 84th minute to complete it 3. And if you look at what this means to us right now, in the table, we are currently topping with 3 points and plus 3 goals. Currently, we have the likes of Algeria playing against Botswana, and Algeria are winning that game, so they are in the second place. But it could still change. It's just 1-0, so anything can still happen. But as it stands, after round one, or after the first leg of the group stages, the Super Falcons are topping their group, and it will remain so, except maybe Algeria gets a high goal margin. Maybe they score 4 goals plus. That's when they can top us. But I mean, what a great performance from the girls. Um, I have really positive things to say. Based on their performances, I thought they really really impressed us. From the goalkeeper to the attackers. Again, it wasn't so much of a difficult match for us, because we didn't really see Chamakan Nodeze being put to test a lot of times, because the Tunisian side were just not that strong to go in shoulder to shoulder with Super Falcons of Nigeria, because the level is just there. The level is just way way apart of each other. They couldn't even break our defense, which was really very strong in my opinion. The way the coach actually lined up that defense, it was very very impressive. I didn't really see any weak points in that back line, where we have the likes of Alozie playing to Ohale and Demehin playing 5 and 6, and then Ashley Plumter playing the 3. It was a very strong, lineup. And then you come into the midfield, you see Ajibade doing her thing, Abiodun doing the marking and all of that, and Ayinde obviously, doing our job as well. The attacking areas was really impressive, with the likes of Asisa Shoala after a really long time not being called up or not being invited into the team. She comes up and then, scores a goal by converting Babajide's crossing. And then Babajide as well, she played really well. I think for me, she should have been the man of the match. She should have won the man of the match award. But instead, he went to Esther Okoronkwo, who came later on in the second half. But again, Esther showed some real good quality. She really affected the game, which obviously is part of the reasons why they decided to give her the man of the match award. But all in all, great performance for our team, and I'm sure this is going to be like the tip of the iceberg, because I mean the Super Falcons of Nigeria, they are much more, they are better than what we just saw. We didn't really even see them play as good as they are, because the Tunisian side were not really giving them the energy, the vibe that they wanted. But it's definitely going to be a nice place to build up from, and then to prepare for their next game. Another notable thing that happened in the match is how two of our goal scorers dedicated their goals to Diogo Jota and Peter Rufai. Babajide obviously hitting the Diogo Jota celebration to pay tribute to the man. And then we had Asisat Oshoala wearing the armband where she wrote Peter Rufai. And then she made sure that she dedicated her goal to the Super Eagles legend. But as I said, we'll wait and see. Their next game, of course, is coming up in a couple of days, and then they hope to, get the result as well to stay up to retain their position in the top of Group B. But let's move away from that, guys. Let's talk about Coach Eric Shell and how he's now invited 35 players in the provisional squad of the Super Eagles Team B. That is the home-based Super Eagles of Nigeria. You recall that they have a competition, African Cup of Nations home-based version. They have it coming up. It was actually supposed to be played a few months ago. I think it was supposed to be played in March, but it was cancelled and then pushed to August. So obviously that one is coming very close, and Kucherek has now lined out 35 provisional players to try out and then see how he can reduce it to 23, 24 players. Right now, the date of the camp opening has been set for Monday, which is the 7th of July, tomorrow specifically. So the coach is expecting all of these guys to show up in the Remo Stars Ikene Stadium, Ogun State. So that's what's happening. And as you can see, the list on the screen, it's a very, very interesting list of home-based players. But also, we've seen a couple of uh, new invitees being added into this list. One of the most notable is Ebenezer Harcourt, who is, uh, a very talented youngster. I think he's 19 years old, on that 20 player. We just saw him in action recently when the under 20 played the African Cup of Nations. That was a few months ago. He was very, very fantastic in that competition, and obviously that's the reason why the coach has decided to invite him into this Super Eagles B competition that's coming up next month. So we'll see how he performs, and as well as all of the other guys as well. It's a very extensive list with the best players, the best quality players in the MPFL that we know about. And of course, they have the privilege of being coached by the head coach of the Super Eagles, Coach Eric Shaw, who is also going to be doubling as the coach of the Team B. That's part of the job. That's what the NFF told him, that he was going to handle both teams. But it's not just Coach Eric Shaw. We also have Remo Stars coach Ogumudede and Rangers Football Club coach Ile Chuku, who will be joining Coach Eric Shaw to train the guys.